Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. Today, we're going to be touching on a subject that many people find to be sensitive. But how sensitive can things be if people are constantly pushing it in your face? People are free to express how they feel about other people, how other people should be thinking. I want to welcome all of you to the Afridamus Report. We have Supergirl here. This is Africa, Stoic One, and all the other people that I didn't mention. Yes, the title that you're saying is true. No such thing as racism, sexism, Islamophobism, deadbeat dadism, all the isms. You have to realize this thing that they call racism, if you're paying attention, it is a religion. It is now a religion. Because if you've ever been part of a religious sect that is very extreme, or you've observed people who are part of very extreme religions, what do? They would come to you and tell you about this religion. And when you do not accept what they are saying or question what they are saying, they would literally go crazy. They would go crazy. They would say, how dare you? How dare you not accept what we are saying? How dare you not switch your identity, your mindset, and allow us to dictate how you think? But now, ladies and gentlemen, more and more people are beginning to wake up to the reality. People don't think that I just started talking about these issues here. I talk about it out there with people, but many people have been brainwashed. They have been convinced because the government itself, which is the US government, is in the business of promoting this religion called racism. What is this racism? What is it? No one can explain it to you. But the racism is only one way, right? That's why I said it doesn't exist. It's either good over evil. Bringing up the past, America's past history, to try to use it against the people. They classify people in groups. They want you to not have any type of question. They don't want you to even think for yourself. It's other people that are going to dictate to you how you should think, how you should feel about things. And it is all based in hatred. But if you don't want to hate, you will be the enemy. And they're teaching this in school. So this is why the people, especially like white people and Africans and others who are not very much privy to what is going on, this is why you see a lot of these new evangelicals of this new religion called racism. You're seeing the evangelicals in coming to Africa, all disguised in what is called racism. They try to convince you, literally, they literally try to convince you that you should identify with people based in groups. And we all know group thinking is dangerous because people have different situations, different backgrounds. But now, if you have people who said they've learned a theory, we will get to that in a minute, because now they've packaged it and they are delivering it in the schools. They call it critical race theory. But the first target was the Black American group. Why was it easy to pull Black Americans into this type of thinking? I'll tell you. I'll tell you from my observation, from understanding human dynamics, what makes one be able to think for themselves, what makes one be protected from outside abuse. Because you see, abuse is not only in the form of someone, you know, hitting you, physically attacking you. No, abuse can be in the form of someone trying to force their thinking upon you. I mean, think about it for a minute. If you're walking down the street, or you're walking down the street, a complete stranger that you don't know, you're walking with your kid, or you are at the mall, you just walk away, you're trying to get some food, some stranger comes to your kid, right? And they start telling your kid about how they should be, oh, you should be thinking this way, you should be a part of this. Like, let's say they are promoting pornography to your child. They are showing your child the picture. Do you guys know, in America, that's child abuse? That's literally child abuse. If it's in places like Africa, you would definitely get stumped by the parents. No questions asked. No questions asked. Oh, for example, you send your kid to schools. If you don't live in America, you're in Africa, for instance. Imagine the teachers, they are not teaching your kids math, science, and English. They are trying to teach the kid. Let's say if the teacher is a drunk, they're teaching the kids how to be a drunk, or teaching the kid, how to be a prostitute, along those lines. Or trying to force their religion down your kid's throat. But you don't belong to that religion. You don't want your kid to think that way. Teaching your kid about life issues is on the parents. But that is not what is allowed. But in America, they made it legal. The federal government made it legal for people to put ideas in your kid's head that you don't even approve of. And this is more prevalent amongst the Black culture in America. This is why when you speak to Black people in America, majority, not all, but most, they would say, oh, as a Black person, or they would say Black community. And they would try to pull you into that and say, oh, you're part of the Black community. No. I'm not part of your community. You guys realize, like, these lingos, these are communist lingos, because cultural Marxism, which in 2020, showed its real face in America. It was subtle in the beginning, but it had to pop up and be forced on people. Because first, what they did was, you look at the Black family in America, almost 80% of Black households is run by mothers, single mothers, raising children. And if you're from a country or a society where a family is strong, where family is strong. You know, when a father, whatever family is missing a father, you know, they are in shambles. If the fathers are not there, other family connections are not there, meaning males, grandfathers, uncles, the family completely falls apart because now that family is open to any type of assault because the mother will have to allow herself to take handouts. And wherever you're taking handouts, guess what? Whoever is giving you that handout will have to dictate how you run your family, how you think. So in America, the government have been, they succeeded in completely controlling Black America through that, where the children are raised entirely by their mothers. And you know, there's the scorn mother syndrome. Imagine a little boy or a little girl yearning for their father. Some don't even know who their fathers are, right? Constantly, their mothers, all the anger, the vitriol, and hatred they have for the father that they slept with would have to be dropped on that child. There's no father there to protect that child against that scorned mother's rage. And even if there's a father, majority have already been raised by that mother. They've been raised to hate themselves, to be men. They are raised to be conditioned to go against that, to go against their fathers. So when a child is raised to go against their own father, which is the male figure, they would hate every other man. Look, you look at it, the societies we come from in Africa and places like that. Most children, because every now and again you run into those who are raised by single mothers by themselves, isolated. You would see that very often, right? And and when you see that type of individual, you come in contact with them. Generally, it's normal they blame everybody for their shortcomings except themselves. Because generally, single mothers are very angry. They feel like they've been victimized. They feel like they've been victimized. So, therefore, they take that rage out of their kids. They put that in the kid's head that the father is the enemy, that the father hates them. But that rage doesn't stop there. Now you send those children to school. This is where the new religion of racism starts being taught to them. Because you know, they've already mastered and seen that the black rage towards white people, they've seen how they could use that, package it, and deliver it to the rest of America. And this fatherlessness is no longer only common amongst black people in America. You have the Hispanics, you have even now white people too. When children have no connection to their fathers, no strong father figure, that's when identity crisis kicks in. And you know, life, wherever there's vacuum, that vacuum has to be filled. Whether the vacuum is going to be filled by good spirit or evil spirit, it has to be filled somehow. It has to be. So this is where the government come in. The government have an agenda. And this agenda is to control the population. What do? You remove the men the upcoming men, you have to teach them how to be weak. The best way to weaken a man is from childhood. Teach them how to blame other people. Teach them how to develop anger and hatred. Because any man that has anger is a girl. When you're angry, you become blind to reality. You cannot see the truth. Even if the truth hits you in the head, you cannot see it. You cannot face yourself, because even you yourself, you see that spirit that made a home in you cannot be looked at. So therefore, you have to blame everyone else. So when you're angry, it is easy for you to be manipulated, because you see, the only individual that you have there is that single mother. This is why you see somebody like Tupac Shakur, a rapper, good rapper, who talks about even if his mama is a crack fiend, she's still a queen. This is why you see these men, when they are even abused by their women, they still call them queens. They cannot face the reality. But ask them to say things about white people whom they have no contact with. They would say all the evil things. You have to ask yourself, who taught them this? I'm going to show you that this is official, because when it comes to Black America, then, like I said, the job has been completed. Not on all, and I'll show you videos here where Black Americans, true Black Americans, are pushing back against this type of ideology being pushed into their children's head. You will see it, because they want to eradicate individualism. They want you to group think. And we all know how detrimental that could be. Oh, happy companion. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to thank all of you again. When you group think, that's dangerous, because you know what? You're coming in a group. You're being forced in a group. They call it community. You're not related to these people. You didn't grow up with these people. You don't know the way they think. You don't share the same ideology, the same moral principles. You know nothing about them. But now you're being forced to assimilate into that group. The good, the bad, the ugly, the rotten ones, you have to identify as being the same as them. So when you identify in a group, then it's easier to control you, because then the government no longer has to worry about that group. That bad group would police itself. So the good members who they identify as their group, their job is to shame and ridicule those people. This is why you see people in Black America, for example, many who do not have strong spine, they cannot speak the truth, because if they do, they will be ridiculed. They will be called names that don't even hold any meanings. But if you have been socialized in this society, many, they don't stand a chance, because it's everywhere. It's on TV. It's in schools. I'll give you an example. Like I'm from a different background. I already have my own moral principles, which came from my family, a family where the father is the head, God over my dad, dad over mom, mom over children. But now, therefore, I cannot allow another person to teach me about how I should think, what my views are supposed to be. much more allowing a complete stranger to come and try to skew the way my child thinks. That is an assault and an attack on me personally. I'll give you an example. One time I went to my child's school, my son, when he was much younger. So what they do is, this is very, very deeply embedded because, it's a divide. They said, oh, white people cannot talk to black people about, even if they are doing bad things. That means they are racist. That is the word they use against white people to close the argument. Because you can no longer have a civil argument. They have to say you're racist. They even came up with what's called Islamophobia, meaning you're scared of Muslims. But they use it as a different meaning. But you know who you can take shots at? Christians. You can say anything bad about Christians, no problem. So right then and there, you can see the hypocrisy. You can say anything you want about white people, no problem. But many people that engage in that, they don't even realize that they are showing weakness. Because you see, when I was growing up, children that whine a lot, that complain, that blame others, we tend not to play with them. We're like, nah, man, we don't want to play with you. Because, you're going to be blamed. If you guys are playing soccer, you bump into them, they are going to whine and cry. Their mom is going to come and report you to the principal. So you tend to avoid that. So imagine you grow up, you're like, now I'm a free man. I can think for myself. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I said, when I grow up, I'm not going to allow any man or woman to tell me how I should think. And I stand by that. But when I went to this school, I'm there talking with quote unquote their psychologists, and I went to the front. We finished talking. We went to the front. I was supposed to be signing some paper. The lady that walked in the front is a black lady. It's almost like this. It's like the woman went into a trance. It's like she's trained to do what I'm about to tell you, what she did. I'm there with my son, and she is saying that, to my son, it doesn't matter. All you got to do is, you can get a C or D just to, graduate, whatever. Like, we're not having conversation about any grades or none of that. Why did this woman feel the need to say this? It's like they're teaching children to be less than mediocre. But she was suddenly mistaken because she see a black skin. She assumed I'm part of their community, their communist community. Because you see, black people don't get it. They really think it's about the skin color. No. You are being trained to be communist because if everybody in a society identify as one, think alike, pretend to have the same history, that's what communism is. Read about China or North Korea. That's what it is. It's like putting a frog in the water, boiling the frog, slowly boiling it. The frog wouldn't even know that they're being boiled. They wouldn't know. So it's like if you identify in a group, so you have to identify with the criminals in that group. You have to identify with the brainless people in that group. No doubt. You have to do that. Even though you disagree with that, you cannot remove yourself from it because that's what the rules are. So this is why, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen many panels, Africans trying to figure out where this thinking is coming from. No, it's a is being taught in American schools. And this is not black people's own thinking. It is people, the American government itself, that want to control the population, divide and conquer. They have to weaken the minds of the citizenry so that they can control the population. Because you see, Diego said he would debate me. Don't worry, I'll drop the line in a minute. So if you look at it, that's the thinking. So if you're arguing, if a white person and a black person are debating, you can go check this out. The white person cannot speak the truth, because if they do, the conversation has to end in "you are racist." And they are teaching what they call CRT, meaning you, like white people, are supposed to be inherently racist, meaning all white people are inherently racist. This is written by other white people teaching this. So what about the white person that is writing this? What about them? So that's where the black face comes in. For example, you see the picture there. You see two black people, Oprah and a guy named Abram Candy X. Because the other guy, Sean King, as you guys can see, he said he's black. He doesn't look black to me. So these are the type of confusion that is happening. But when this woman said this in front of my son, trying to encourage him to be mediocre, I had to stop her right then and there. I said, "Ma'am, you have absolutely no right to say such a thing." I said, "Who tells a child in the school that you can just get a C and D and graduate with that? Who does that?" Kids should be encouraged to strive to get A's or A plus, because what's the purpose of coming to the school, wasting your time all day just to get that? And then I noticed this entire setup is women, or if there's a man, it's a beta male. So those of you who don't have kids or don't pay attention to this, you will never know this. You wouldn't be, if you are not that active in your kids' life, you will never know this. You wouldn't know what they're teaching them. You wouldn't understand. And they've even, I'm going to show you a video here where they promote this segregation. Segregation, how some black people, they tell you about segregation, how messed up that was. With this CRT, it's called critical race theory. It is a theory. So you see mostly black talking heads promoting this. They bring you overweight black women to teach this to you, who are loud and obnoxious. So when you go to government institutions, if you work in government institutions, this is very strong there. I remember going to what they call diversity training. The people teaching in the diversity training are white people, and a large, big, black lesbian. It is mostly white people there. But when I went to the training, mind you, they are saying this, so for black people, one size fits all. And I told them, I said, "Hey, I'm not part of this culture. Just because I'm black doesn't mean I have to go along with this." I said, "You guys should respect other people's culture and freedom." I said, "I thought America is a place where people are allowed to be who they are. But no, they have to dictate to you what you are supposed to be." You notice when it comes to being a homosexual, you should accept that. But if you don't accept it, then you're a hater. So I came from a culture where polygamy is accepted. How come, if people want to practice that, they cannot practice it legally. They're like, oh no, that's evil, you can't do that. But they get to tell you what is legal and what is not legal, and you're supposed to just go along. So the priests and the, you know how before Christian missionaries get sent to Africa to preach Christianity, you know, they still do. Now people, you guys are seeing these videos, people are going to Africa to preach hate, and you will see where this hate came from. It's been taught in schools, in American schools. Literally, they are teaching this. And most Africans, you better wake up too. Because you know, I see a lot of, you know, single mama African women too. Some of you have brought your wife here, or marry some African women. You're like, oh, the African women, they have culture, blah, blah, blah. And you marry them. No, they are thinking just like these same other people I'm telling you about. Because they think, oh, that's the way to be civilized. That's education. So your kid is going to swallow this. You won't be there to be able to protect your child against this hatred that has been forced upon them. It is not good. This is why you see big old, you know, black men. You know, they cannot form a good argument. They could be talking to a skinny little white woman. They disagree with them, they would cry victim. Look, I'll tell you right now, this is coming from a guy who filed for discrimination against the state. Because it is illegal for them to do that, right? But let me tell you, during this process, throughout, this is why I'm telling you that racism doesn't exist. Because the same people that are proposing it, try to sue the state, they would bring you those same black people, mostly black women, to debunk what you are saying. I had a black woman who supposedly, because I've seen when I filed this suit against the state, all of a sudden in a state where there's very minor number of black people there, but now all of a sudden, every step of the way, the investigation, quote unquote, it is a black person conducting it. I literally had a black woman investigator tell me, oh, everything you're saying is true that I found, but I cannot do anything about it. I cannot write the report because my job. I said, oh, so you're just here to be a placeholder. And then I had another black man. This is why if you want to know about most black people speaking the truth, whether they're speaking the truth or not, put them in front of a white official. That's when you would find out. This man used to cry about racism, how racist white people are. No problem. He was supposed to be my witness to what happened. But when they brought him in front of white official, this man racism no longer exists. So I've been studying this for quite some time. It's only racist when it's convenient. You look at it, for example, when Trump, when he sneezes, it will be called racist. But there is videos of the quote unquote current president. He's there with their black representatives. He's yelling at them, but that's not racism. They just say it's misunderstood. This is why I say it is a religion. It is not real. It is a religion. And most black people have swallowed it hook, line, and sinker because white people are not your problem. White people are not your problem. If your biggest problem, or this white supremacist you talk about, your mommy is the first white supremacist you meet. She completely destroyed you before sending you out into the world. She's the one that was, drilling it in your head throughout your life, telling you your daddy ain't shit. Throughout your life. You look at just even example. You see 50-year-old black women competing with 25-year-old, 22-year-old black women for boyfriends. You see this in America, it would blow your mind. So if this is happening, imagine what chance these children have. They have absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance. Let me see. Oh, African Caribbean. Welcome. Brian, the PayPal is still up. I didn't receive any, but thanks for coming again. They stand absolutely no chance. So if you're sent out in the world, not standing a chance, you're destroyed by your own mama. But then she wants to tell you it's everyone's fault except you. You've been taught to hate your father. When you hate your father, how are you going to respect other men? I told you guys, I worked as an officer before, and I've encountered this many, many times. I've encountered this generally with black inmates. The least man they respect is a black man. You will see it. They disrespect you. But since I was raised in that manner, you have no choice but to follow the rules. I command respect. You will have to follow the laws because I'm put in a position to make sure these rules and laws are followed. And that's what happens. My son, I teach him respect. He respects authority. He respects other men because he knows what it means to respect the father. If you don't respect your own father, you cannot respect any other man. In the prison, I look at even the dynamic. Older black inmates versus the younger ones. No respect. The only older ones they respect is the ones that are gang members. The gang. If you don't have a father at home, you're going to look for father elsewhere. And the street is open to taking you in. Do you think that's going to go well? It's not going to go well. But now, not only the street is trying to suck the souls of these innocent children, because the kids are innocent people. I want you to know this. It's not their fault to find themselves in that predicament. This is why, after studying how things are going, I come out here to help. Because believe it or not, many of those men in the prison, I helped help them think differently. And many would come back and thank me. There is lots of things I tell them they didn't even know about it. I bring different perspective to them. When you don't love your father, you're completely blind. You suffer from identity crisis. You're disconnected from the Father above. Only thing you're connected to is Satan, which is the God below, a false God. This is why you see many people. Now, even, not only black people, white people too. Asians, all stripes. You will see how confused they are. But it is more common amongst Black America. And now Black people are being used as the weapon to destroy America. Because for them to be able to pass this social control on people, they have to use the Black people to do it. And that's generally Black women. Have you noticed they're not giving they're not giving the opportunity to Black men, even like straight Black men. I'm talking straight Black men. They're not giving them the opportunity. They do everything to try to castrate them. And this is the government doing that to them, making them powerless, rendering them useless. And when you can take a man's power away from them and be able to do whatever you want to their children in front of them, and they can't do anything about it, it destroys their spirit, their souls. This is what they did. They removed the Black man and put the Black woman in charge of the children. Here, destroy the kids. So these kids will grow up looking at their Black father as the useless one, as the enemy, completely lost. So this is why you would see these Black women going around saying, oh, we are strong. We are strong Black women. No such thing as a strong woman. Only where weak men exist. Only where weak men exist. And if you don't believe me, get out of your feelings and look around. Just look around. But I don't want to just keep going on and on. I'll show you some proofs here. I have the proof, ladies and gentlemen. This is not me just saying this. The proof is here. The proof is in the pudding. And I'll show you other videos where no matter how much success a Black man, quote unquote, gets in America, not all, but most, they're not going to be teaching the other Black men, how to get to that success. You look at like someone like Oprah. She's literally a billionaire. But she's one of the priestess of this religion of racism. The white woman you see there, she is written a book called White Fragility. So if you're a white person, for instance, they want to disarm you completely. So if you, for instance, in her book, she says all white people are racist, mind you. So if they tell you, you're a white person, and they say, oh, you're racist. So the remedy, if a white person say, no, I'm not racist, that alone proves that they are racist. People, how does that make sense? How does that make sense? How can you win? Imagine if they write a law and say all people that look like Afridamus are thieves. And if they deny that they are thieves, that's the proof that they are actually thieves. So you're not going to win at all. But there are a bunch of silly white people that bought into this. Literally, I have white people, not even that long ago, arguing with me about this. But you see, the crazy thing is how I know this is a religion. So if I had agreed, for instance, if I had agreed to be a victim, then I'm a good Black man. But the moment I disagreed, guess what? Literally, I became a white supremacist. I thought that was only reserved for white people. I've had several white people, not only whites, but Blacks, that call me a white supremacist. So I believe now when they say you're a white supremacist, you should be very happy. That means truth teller. Truth teller. But the same people, when you tell them, when you ask them, oh, are white people superior to you? No, no, no. Then what is it about? They can't tell you. But I'm about to show you a clip here. Proof about what is going on in American schools. I'm about to show you right now. And this is black fathers pushing back on this religion called racism. Watch.
Apparent here by all of the parents that's spoken that this board and the school district is failing. More importantly, I came here to talk about critical race theory. This theory was never meant to be brought into grade schools, high schools, at all. It's actually taught in the collegiate atmosphere, and more importantly, the legal portion of the collegiate atmosphere, to see different laws through the lens of race. The problem with bringing it to high school and grade school level is that we don't have the educators to properly teach these kids. Instead, they're using it as their own agenda to indoctrinate the kids to hate each other. And whether you believe that to be true or not, the reality is that's what's happening. Critical race theory is teaching that white people are bad. That's not true. That would teach.
Do you guys hear this? They are teaching that white people, all white people are bad. That's what they are teaching. You know, I've told you guys here, and you guys have heard from other Africans that live in the United States. Most of their troubles, things they would call racism, guess who they face that from? It's not from white people. It is from black people. Because they've been taught to hate. And hate doesn't have any boundary. If you hate one, you hate all. Because it's usually the fake love. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to go around telling people about how lovely I am. Blah, blah, blah. I don't need to. I don't need to. But when someone comes to you telling you how lovely they are, blah, 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 be suspicious. Let me decide if you're lovely or not. I have common sense. But what this man is saying here is absolutely true. I'll let him finish.
My daughter that her mother is evil. You already have an educator within your staff that has pulled my daughter aside and said, well, you're a minority, so you know better than to engage in certain things.
Wow. Whoa.
When I was brought to the school's attention, nothing happened to the educator. Instead, my daughter was brought in.
What he just said here, do you guys understand if this was in Africa, a teacher says this to someone's child? I don't know about where I'm from, a teacher pulls someone's child aside and said this, trying to isolate them, that teacher would be stomped. Do you guys understand this is a crime? This is child abuse. This is literally child abuse. The school has absolutely no right to pull your child aside and try to impose their own idea in this child's head. What they're there for is to teach them math, English, and science, period. When it comes to life lessons, morals, you leave that to the parents. But that's not what's happening. Like I said, they've succeeded in doing this to Black America. Now they want to spread it to everybody.
And she was ridiculed. So my question is now, with critical race theory being brought in, what is your criteria to educate the educators? And who are you to educate my children, or any of our children, in life issues. That's our job.
Yes.
Your job is to teach them math and science. Our job is to teach them about life. I believe the people here don't look at me as a black man. They look at me as a man standing in front of you, addressing the issue that we all are very passionate about.
When you talk about critical race theory, which is pretty much going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other, I don't care what you say, it's pretty much what it's going to all come down to. You're going to deliberately teach kids, this white kid right here got it better than you because he white? You're going to purposely tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How did I get, first of all, time out, because I only got 5 minutes now, 5 minutes. 2 medical degrees, no mom, no dad in the house, worked my way through college, sat there and hustled my butt off to get through college. You gonna tell me somebody that looked like all y'all white folks kept me from doing that? Are you serious? Not one white person ever came to me and say, well, son, you're never going to be able to get nowhere because you know the black people. But guess what? What's sickening about this whole thing is what y'all doing right now is already something I do in my community right now to speak out against stuff because black folks are getting told by other black folks, oh, you know you ain't going to be able to do nothing out there in the world because them white folks ain't going to let you get no, oh, you know you're not going to be able to do it here because you know, the white man going to keep you down. Well, how did I get where I am right now?
If this continues, we will look back.
Does this sound familiar to you guys? This man just outlined exactly what I'm saying. Just go listen to some of your quote unquote favorite Pan-Africanist YouTubers. All these people, they're telling you, oh, white people are stopping me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, how did you make it to where you are? Ladies and gentlemen, if white people were racist, why would they allow Africans to come here and succeed? Why? Why would they allow a man? This man just told us he's got 2 medical degrees. He's doing well for himself. No white person stopped him. But it is other black people that are hustling other black people to try to have them stay in the bottom. That's what's happening. So you no longer need, the KKKs, they no longer exist because the job is already done. They don't need to do anything. Why would a person put on a hood and give themselves a criminal record when, black people themselves can do the job for them? Like literally, you have black people, even like look at some of them in this chat. They are literally advocating. They are supporting the destruction of black children. Somebody is telling you, oh, you cannot make it because you're black, and you're buying that. That person don't love you. That person doesn't want you to make it. That's like someone saying, oh, you want to start a business? Oh, don't even bother. You're not going to succeed. How many of you would buy into that? It is black people going around telling other black people this. Now they've put even black people in charge to literally stop other black people from thinking for themselves, from enjoying the prosperity of America. Literally, that's what's happening. Like I said, this is not just on the internet. I've done my work and I continue to do it. I continue to do it. When I worked in that prison, it wasn't only to tell people, oh, follow the rule, this and that. When I'm at my desk, do you guys know, literally, inmates of all color, they would line up to come and ask me about life advice. About life advice. Yeah, it's not only to try to drill, to tell them, oh, you got to do this, follow this law. No. It's respect. And some, yeah, they would resist it in the beginning. But all humans, all of us know the truth. The truth is inside of us. Allow that light that's inside of you to shine. Don't let these evil people kill that light. That's what their job is. Their job is to kill that light that's inside of you. We are all individuals. We have to allow our individual gifts to manifest. Don't limit yourself. Don't be limited by, let's say, your ethnic background, or to say my skin color. No, the world needs you. The world is yearning for your individuality. But you also have to know there is dark forces. This is why I say it's good over evil. There is dark forces that are trying to kill that light that's inside of you. You have to manifest that light. This is why the Afridamus report exists. Just so you know. The slogan is Afridamus report, just slightly offensive, but you'll learn a lot while you're here. That truth that's been hiding inside of you, you'll be able to tap into it to see what is really going on.
And be responsible for the dismantling of the greatest country in the world by reverting to teaching hate and that race is a determining factor on where your destiny lies.
CRT is racist. It is abusive. It discriminates against one's color. I had to come down here today to tell you to your face that we are coming together and we are strong. This will not be the last. Greet and meet respectfully.
You guys see that, right? This is Black people pushing back on this. But the Hotep hustlers, they call these people coons. So literally, your job is to protect your children. Your job is to protect your children, right? But now someone comes, they are protecting their children against all this. But then they are saying, oh, you are a hater. You are a hater. It's really crazy. But now, let me show you another video clip where teachers are trying to do, what is it called? In Georgia, in a school, they are bringing back segregation. And this segregation, guess who is heading this in that state? It's going to blow your mind. I'm about to show you right now.
Under fire after a parent filed a federal discrimination complaint. The mother claims she was told her daughter could only be placed in one of 2 Black second grade classes at Mary Lynn Elementary School. It is a serious allegation that has a lot of other parents coming to the school's defense. Fox 5's Eric Perry sat down with that mother.
This mother says this was specifically for the 2020 to 2021 school year and argues this violates the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
It's not really a black and white. It's against the law.
Kyla Posey says she wants the best education for her children who attend Maryland Elementary School in Northeast Atlanta.
Basically, what you're telling me is I don't have the option of 6 classes. I only have the option of 2. And that's wrong.
Posey and her husband filed a discrimination complaint with the U.S. Department of Education's Civil Rights Office, claiming the principal of Mary Lynn made class assignments based in part upon race.
And she said that she was splitting the students, the black students, and only placing them in 2 classes, opposed to giving them free reign of the 6 classes like the white students.
Did you guys hear that? Segregation is back. How dare this white supremacist, trying to make black children feel less than, to separate them and put them by themselves. I cannot believe that white people brought back racism. The principal, such a racist white person, right? But let's find out you know, where this KKK principle is coming from, ladies and gentlemen. It's unreal. The KKK is back, y'all.
Question is, why?
She was building community with the black families, and I explained to her that that's not your job. I mean, I was appalled because she looks just like me.
Did you guys hear that? You guys thought this was a white person doing that, right? Because you were conditioned to believe that it is white people that are racist, whatever. She is segregating black students because, quote unquote, she's building a community. A community. Your job is not to build that. Your job is to teach the children math, science, and English. That's what your job is. What is this quote unquote community all about? Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot even imagine. For instance, when I was a kid, the school I was in, the school tried to pull this kind of crap. I can assure you, any teacher that tried to do that, I know that the teacher would get beat up. No doubt. Not only would the teacher be fired, the principal, I know that my grandfather for sure would show up to the school with his gun. No doubt. He would show up with his gun. But I told you guys, you don't have to worry about, you know, a white person anymore. It is black principals, black authorities in charge doing this. Just look at even in the US Army now, they have that beta general, black, when anywhere they want to destroy, they have to put a black person in charge there because they don't want sensible white people to question this black person, because if they do, that means they are racist. Plain and simple. If they question the black person, that means it's racist. And black people should be ashamed of themselves being used this way. So it's like they're saying, oh, you don't have common sense, so therefore we'll just use you. And if someone question you, you are not bright enough to stand up to criticism, you have to cry racism. You guys look at, for example, Kamala Harris, the vice president. First, in 2018, she identifies as Indian. But when she went national, now she's black. And I know why they put her there. You guys know the quote-unquote president who don't even know if he's president. He doesn't even think she's the vice president. She's the handler. He thinks she's her nurse. Just look at the dynamic. Because the president, he believes in this racial segregation thing. So he's like, oh, I have my brown girl here, so she's the nurse. He's thinking this is her nurse. He's like, oh, can you bring the nurse in? That's what he thinks. But look at it. Even her, whose parents immigrated here, I don't know how she's even allowed to be vice president, because her parents were not American citizens, you see? And she grew up in Canada, you see? And how did they allow that to happen? I know why. Because they don't want white people to be able to question the destruction that they're perpetrating. Don't think that, you know, like, because what they are doing in this sense, the Democratic Party, they're just using black people as the useful idiots. So the few ones that are benefiting, eating high up on the hog, including even Barack Hussein Obama, all those people are part of the race hustle. They need you. They need you and your children to prop them up. You will be destroyed while they benefit. When in reality, you could benefit, your child could benefit. If you drop that communist community mindset. Look at that teacher, what she's saying. Oh, we're building a community. Community with who? I just want my kid to go to school. When he finishes elementary, he moves on. Moved just like me. You know, the kids that I was in elementary school with, I don't even remember. None of them. I don't remember those, even kids from my high school. I have moved on with my life. And so did they. I don't need to be in a community with them. I have moved on. Why you want to force other people not to be able to manifest their own individuality? But this is what is happening. The light is missing. The light is missing.
Posey says she took this to other school administrators and then to the district. The district sent us a statement saying, in part, APS does not condone assigning students to classrooms based solely on race. When we learned of allegations of this conduct occurring during virtual instruction at Mary Lynn Elementary School in August 2020, the district conducted a review and took immediate and appropriate action at that time to resolve the issue. Posey took her issue one step further.
No, we filed an official complaint with the Office of Civil Rights.
The sworn statement submitted as evidence claims other school administrators were aware of this practice. Additionally, Posey included audio recordings of conversations with administrators as supporting evidence. Her accusations aren't going unnoticed among other parents. In a joint letter, many expressed their support for the principal, saying no such segregated classes exist. Fox 5 did get access to yearbooks, which shows African American students in various classes, but Posey says there's a reason for that.
The district decided that the 2020-2021 school year would be virtual, would start off virtual. The classes stayed the same, so she didn't change them. At the beginning of the school year, they stayed the same.
And I've reached out personally to both the principal and the State Board of Education, waiting to hear back from both. If you want to read the full statement from APS, head to our website. In Northeast Atlanta, I'm Eric Perry for Fox 5 News.
You guys have seen that. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank those of you that have contributed, to the Cash App to support this program. I appreciate it. You're putting your money where your mouth is. Thank you. I really, truly appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen that, right? You know I'm not making this up. So I'm glad to see there are Black people out there that have sense. I want those of you that are outside of America to see it is not all Black people that are part of this religion. There are Black people who still cherish individuality. They love God, they love America, and they love their children. They don't want to be a part of this screwed up religion. But you would think this stops there, right? So we've seen people that, quote unquote, we say they are successful. Because there was a time, people, I'll tell you, in America, when people overcome their conditions, it's celebrated, it's inspirational. They would show a little boy who grew up in the ghetto, a little boy that suffered. You look at it, you're like, he went through all that, people. And then lift themselves out of that society, out of that condition, and show us their success, and it's celebrated. But now they are paying people that, quote unquote, supposed to be successful. These people are coming to us expressing weakness. But no one is asking them, why are you not telling us how you made it? Why are you not telling us that? Because they need you to remain weak. So this is everywhere. I've just shown you videos which this is happening in the physical form in classrooms. But what is happening in right here on YouTube? I'll show you an example. I'll show you an example. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, if somebody goes to school for engineering, being a lawyer, or whatever type of profession, or doctor, these are prestigious professions. They pay well. People, they inspire to do that. That used to be a good thing. I hardly run into, like back in the days, I wouldn't run into a lawyer or doctor, black doctor, who is perpetrating weakness, crying about fake racism. But now we're seeing that. So when people start doing that, that's when you know they want you to remain weak so that they can get whatever they want from you. Because when you're angry, like I said, you're blind. I'm about to show you a video that I came across. You know, little debate between a grown black man who's supposed to be a lawyer and a Hispanic woman, you know, black and brown, black and brown. But we'll find out, is black and brown a reality? And what I've been telling you guys here, you would see that it's about the facts. When you speak the facts, then you're racist. And when you're talking to a black person, maybe separate, one-on-one, not all, but most, one-on-one, when you're talking with them, oh, they're cool and everything. They're fine, they're cool, right? But put that same black person amongst a group of black people. They would project so much weakness to try to mimic the group, because that's the way the group would like you. I don't care if that group likes me or not. I'm here to do work. I'm here to do work to awaken you to the fakery that is happening. Let me show you this clip. I'm going to break it down and you guys going to see exactly what I'm talking about. It would completely prove to you even this black and brown thing is all fake. And you would see where if the argument, you talk sense, all of a sudden you will be considered racist. But these individuals, they cannot speak the truth because they are talking to a black audience. What does that tell you? Nobody wants black people to succeed, even black people themselves. The black people that are saying they succeeded, the black people that said they succeeded, right? They are supposed to tell the other blacks how to do it. That's how it used to be. They would bring a black person, like I said, that pulled themselves by the bootstrap. Those are the black people that used to be celebrated. You bring them and they talk about how they overcame. It's inspiring. People are inspired to follow that. Not today. That's why I say many black people, they don't have a chance to get out of this religion. Only God can help them. But they are definitely in the hooks of Satan. And the agents of Satan are all over, especially on the internet. This is why I have to come here and help. That's what I'm doing. But I'm about to play you a video that was made by a YouTuber. This man calls himself the lead attorney. But by the time we finish here, you would decide for yourself if this guy is a lead attorney or even an attorney, because it's weird that an attorney would just say such things. Let's find out if what he said is true or not.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on. You heard what the other gentleman had said, and I absolutely want to give you a chance to respond to that.
Definitely. I'm trying. I'll do my best to be concise. I'm on my phone right now. I'm not home. First thing.
So this guy called lead attorney. He's talking to a woman who's considers herself Afro-Latina. Because you guys know we've heard black and brown, right? This is why I say you cannot trust angry people. You cannot trust angry people because they will turn on you the moment you speak the truth. So this guy, you see him there, he's dressed sharp just like me. He said he's an attorney, but he's about to prove to us that he's a weak attorney. Just watch.
First, I don't know that guy. He doesn't know me. He sounds like a Tariq Nasheed minion. I think I mentioned before on your show that Tariq Nasheed went to my Instagram page, took a soundbite of something I said, and then
Tariq Nasheed, that's one of the he's one of the bigger race hustlers online. He usually would tell black people when he's mad at them, he tells them how broke and destitute and dusty they are. But let's say you guys know misery loves company. That Tariq Nasheed, same Tariq Nasheed, 2 weeks ago, he said CRT, which is the critical race theory. He said it's black history. Black people should adapt it. But when some people confronted him about it on his latest video, he completely denies it. So I'm just telling you guys, when you don't push back, when you don't question, these things just are allowed to move on. But when they are questioned, they completely deny it. So that's even disrespectful to you, the black person. Somebody can just come and say whatever to try to pass it off as the truth. But you guys notice when there's a pushback, they walk it back. That same Tariq Nasheed, I saw him on his show talking about, he criticizes white people, white policemen, everything to pander to black Americans who have the victimhood mindset. Then they went and put him in front of a white person. He completely walks it back. I'm going to bring you guys that video so you guys can see for yourself and make the assessment. Does this man even believe in what he's saying? So you guys are about to find out about this guy who also strikes me as a race hustler, because if he cannot speak the truth or tell black people how to be successful, how to be attorneys, but wants to perpetrate weakness, he's no different than a Tariq Nasheed. But if he truly believes it, he has some self-assessment to do.
And created content, which is what a lot of these guys do, as you know. They'll take a soundbite and then make 2-3 hour show, even though it has absolutely nothing to do with your narrative or what you said. The scab comment, I will double down. I am not backsliding. I said specifically, I said to black people, black Americans, because there's a difference, right? There's Latinos that say they're black. Everybody has a different definition for everything, like I said before. The videos are still up. I haven't deleted anything. He said Anglo-Saxons. I have never done a panel with a white person, if that's what he meant. I have never let anybody talk to me sideways. You guys know me enough to know. Do you really think that I was on anybody's panel and they talked sideways to me and I didn't say anything? Do you really think that from what you guys have seen? So you can't find one video of me online where some Anglo-Saxon, as he described it, is talking to me any kind of way, any types of greasy. That's the first thing. The scab comment, I will double down because it seems that people think that I regret saying it or I shouldn't have said it.
What she's saying here, because she said that black people use racism as a scab. They just keep trying to pick on it to keep it alive. She's absolutely right. And she's standing on that ground. But what they do is, as you know, as the devil works, the devil would try to shame you and try to get you to walk back what you said. So the moment you're weak and just say, oh yeah, devil, you're absolutely right. I was wrong for speaking the truth. Right then and there. Gotcha. You have allowed yourself to be manipulated by the devil. And that's what's been happening. You have a lot of weak people who don't love the truth. They would say things because you shouldn't be apologizing for speaking the truth. Or they would say, oh, you could have said it this way. Hey, if you want to say it that way, it's a free country. You can go say it that way. But I'm not here to massage your feelings. I'm not here to interpret things for you. It's simple. Just lay it out. But trying to control people's speech pattern, that's just all the ways of trying to control your thinking. Because you see the words that are thrown out there, it controls your thinking. They make it sound so legit and good. All fake. Don't fall for it. And I'm glad this woman is standing her ground.
She ain't black, right? I specifically said to black people, stop wearing your blackness like a scab that you let any person pick off and put you through the pain over and over and over again. Stop wearing your blackness in this country like a scab. Be thicker than that. Be stronger than that. I still stick by my words. I will not change it. What Tariq Nasheed did was took that soundbite and said, she said blackness is a scab. She said blackness is a scab. That's what Tariq Nasheed did. And
she's right. That's what Tariq does. He would take sound bites and go to the black people and say all this stuff. Oh, this person said this. But he knows the audience he's talking to, because you would think, okay, the woman has the full video. You can just go and search it and listen to what she's saying. But no, they are not going to do that. They are addicted to hate. They want to hate her. So therefore, that's what it is. This is why when I see them walking around, oh, black and brown, it makes me laugh. I'm like, black and brown? Are you kidding me? Black and brown. Blacks hate Hispanics. They hate everybody. They hate Chinese, Japanese, Korean, anyone that's not black. And now they're even hating Lebanese, who are all the way in Africa. Has absolutely nothing to do with them. They themselves, they would tell you, oh, they shouldn't be here. They hate anybody that, quote unquote, isn't black. But I refuse to believe that it's only, oh, who's not black. They even hate other black people. If you don't believe me, look around America. Who's killing more blacks than anyone in this, quote unquote, black communities? Majority of them. You can't even sit on your porch. You can't be comfortable in your living room because these people, you know, they will be shooting at each other. You don't want to catch a stray bullet. We've seen so many young children getting gunned down. But now they want you to support unemployed drug addicts, grown men who got killed by police. They want you to cry over that. But nobody is crying over the children, the innocent bystanders. And you don't think this is evil? You want to be taken seriously? Oh, the white man so did this. So it's only relevant when a white person, you know, kills a black person in the service of their duty. It's not like they are doing it intentionally, but you got black people who are rolling around intentionally killing black people. You're seeing black people killing, for example, these rappers, you're hearing about rappers. They call it drill music. These people are killing each other. And they're making music about it, mocking their quote unquote opponents. It is an abomination. Complete abomination. But nobody should talk about that, right? Because if you do, you're racist. But if you're black, you're Uncle Tom. You're a coon. You're a sellout. Makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense. And then they talk about BLM people. I'll tell you right now, living in a state where it's majority white, it is white people who are the members of the BLM, of the alphabet community. They're the ones running it, and we all know it. But see, when you're angry and you roll in this what they call community, you get infiltrated. Plain and simple. You get infiltrated. This is why I've seen some old shriveled grandma in Ghana trying to bring that type of ideology there. I saw Wadumaya, interviewing them. This is why somebody need to enlighten people like Wadumaya. They want to put out a fake persona, which is detrimental to Africa. Oh, the BLM. Oh, America is so terrible. Really? It's ridiculous, people. It's ridiculous. You should grow a spine. Nobody is saying it's all fine and dandy, but you should be able to protect yourself. Don't just swallow anything. What is your duty? What do you think of yourself as a human? What is your perception of self? But if you don't have that, somebody would create it for you. And that's what you would go by. That's what you would go by. Yeah, she said, oh, there's prejudice. Miriam said, you're living in a pretend world. There is why, what? I said, that is why some promises in America, there is prejudice. There is prejudice everywhere. You don't think there's prejudice in Africa? There's prejudice everywhere. But are you that weak that you cannot stand up against somebody trying to victimize you? You rather cry about it? You rather cry about it? Hey, I would rather face prejudice and fight against that than having people shoot at me. I would rather face that. But people don't like the truth anymore. Even though the good book says, only the truth shall set you free. Let's hear more of this woman and the quote unquote lead attorney.
That's what this fool was echoing just now. The second thing is people are confused. They don't know what Afro-Latino is. I am not responsible for your lack of education. I am not going to sit here and go into a soliloquy of the diaspora and the slave trade, but more than Africans were slaves, okay? There were slaves in Puerto Rico and slaves in China and slaves in Brazil and Cuba and Panama and Haiti. There were slaves all over the place. I am not responsible for your lack of education.
Man, this woman is on point, because if you don't know any better, you listen to blacks in America. Oh, only blacks in America were the ones enslaved. In fact, there's still slaves in some places in Africa, like Mauritania, a country. They have slaves there. So if you are truly butthurt about slavery, you would be fighting for people that are literally are in bondage, enslaved. But you want to ride off the pains and sufferings of people that came before you who were actual slaves. You've never been enslaved. All you knew is freedom. Oh, somebody looked at you the wrong way. Now you're pissed. Oh, they didn't serve me right. Hey, don't give them your money. Don't go there. But no, it has to be your way. You have to go nitpick for things just to try to make people feel bad. But people are watching, they're seeing, come on. This victim mindset is is getting overblown. There were slaves everywhere, and they continue to be. There are people in America right now, literally. They're literally probably, equivalent to, slave condition. They don't have the voice to speak. But you have the voice to speak, and you want to waste it on victimhood? Really? Is that what we're doing in 2021? Hey, the people that really suffered is the original Africans. The Africans they brought here, who were born in freedom. And then their freedom was taken away and they put them in bondage. Those are the people we should be honoring. Those are the people we should be, seeing as victims. But in 2021, you want to pretend like slavery only existed in America? I'll tell you why the narrative is even allowed in America. Because the white people made it possible for blacks to express that. Go to Middle East, go to other places. Look at Brazil. We don't hear stories from those people. I've met some Brazilians, blacks here. There's no doubt their ancestors were enslaved, but they are not wearing that as a badge of honor. These people wore this as a badge of honor to a point. They even formed their own organization saying, oh, the descendants, they are the descendants of slaves. Why would somebody, promote such a thing? They formed it as an organization, but all in the name of trying to make little money from it. This is the truth. That's what it's about. It's a hustle. I'm telling you, this religion called racism, it pays well. I mean, look at the people that promote it. Look at the people that promote it. They make money off of this. Seriously. They make money off of this. And you guys know it. You have Dr. Umar, who's been asking you to give him money close to 10 years. 10 years. He said he's building school. Where's the school? But because he comes and tell you bad stuff about white people, because you've already been programmed to believe that. Look, if you truly believe a group of people are evil and they are bad, whatever, hey, you don't have to be around them. You can just remove yourself from them, plain and simple. But we all know that's not true, because anytime that is proposed, it's like, oh, white people got to give us something. If racism didn't pay, you wouldn't hear about it. But it pays. It pays. You even have a white woman. This white woman that wrote that book, White Fragility, she's making money off black people. If they call her to come and give speeches, do you know how much you got to pay that woman to secure her to come to this, companies to talk about nothing? She's the priestess of racism, a white woman. She's getting paid $12,000 minimum just to come out and lie to the companies. That money is not going to you, the black person. All she needs is for you to swallow it, and she gets paid for it. That Abraham Kendi guy, X, same thing. They just write something and call it a theory, and they get paid off of it. Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar, all these people, they come, they tell you all this stuff, how bad white people are. And the funny thing is, most black people, they crack me up. You're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're African. Oh, okay. That's another thing they've been conditioned to believe. If you're African, or Africans are less than them. But they're fooling themselves in that aspect, because they've been conditioned to be put in different classes. So They've been beaten down so much. So there is no way that most would believe, okay, a black person that look like me think for themselves. That is foreign. This is why you get the pushback. This is why you're called a hater. I told you guys, it is a religion. It is a religion. Just think about it. When you come across people that practice extreme Islam or extreme Christianity, it's the same thing. When they try to push their ideology down your throat and you resist it, they will tell you about how you're going to go to hell and all that stuff. So nothing different here. Let's see here. It looks like somebody's bought her. Afridamus, you're goddamn immigrant. Talk about what you... Well, guess what? I'm an American citizen, sir. You're the only one that is still in the dark. In case you don't know, America is that place that brings in people that have common sense, that want to take advantage of the prosperity of America and contribute to what America is about. So you can say that all you want. The only office I cannot run for in America is a president, but I can run for governorship, mayor, senator, you name it. So you're the one fooling yourself. You're the one fooling yourself. Yes, I did immigrate to America, but guess what? I'm an American citizen now. So I don't get your point. You can continue perpetrating that victimhood mindset. Let's see how that helps you. So your talking points against me doesn't stand. At least I'm a smart man. I'm smart enough to say, hey, where will I go to get the advantages of life? Boom, America stood out to me. And the white people say, hey, we are inviting you, come on in. And I did. You see? So, ladies and gentlemen, Africans that are watching, you see the examples I give you? The only people that tend to have issues with African individual, even being an American citizen, generally is blacks. Not all, but most. So the talking points is either you're married to a white woman. If that doesn't stick, they switch to, oh, you're an immigrant and you killed that. And the next thing would be you're a coon, you're a sellout. Oh, go back to your shithole country. It doesn't matter. He said, your accent for sure ain't American. Well, you keep saying that. Wait till you see me become a senator. The accent is going to piss you off however you want. But I'll be making laws that you would follow. How would you like that?
Latino is not new. I didn't just invent that last week. Afro-Latinos have existed since the slave trade, okay? My father aesthetically would look like a regular black African-American man. My mother is more of a Spaniard Latina. That's why I look the way I look. So I'm not, it's funny that people are saying, she's saying the word black, but she can't say, you don't own, the word nigga, I'm sorry. You don't own the word nigga. And yes, I do have a video. My very first video on my channel is trying to get rid of the word nigga. And let's be clear, okay? I am born and raised in the South Bronx. My entire family is black and Latin. I have said the word nigga since I could walk. I stopped saying it, okay, because I didn't like it, because I grew up and I felt there was a better way that we can address each other, whether it's a term of endearment or otherwise. Because people think, well, we changed the word, we made it a term of endearment. That's bullshit, because when you're pissed off at somebody like I was, what do? Bitch ass nigga, fuck boy nigga, you a dumb nigga, you a stupid nigga. So the word hasn't really changed completely to be a term of endearment. And I said, you know what? And it's gonna sound corny. One time I was watching Oprah and she said I could no longer use the word that so many people heard while they were being whipped, while they were being murdered, while they were being raped. And that resonated with me. That was the...
Did you guys hear that? She mentioned the name of the priestess. because they have to put someone, individuals, right? It's no longer the job, like there's no family to teach their kids about what to say, what not to say, how things are done. They have to find a mammy, put her on TV to control how you think for yourself. This is why these problems keep happening. I've had some of these people try to call me that name. I just laugh about it. It means nothing to me. It's just a word. Because I'm listening to rap music and they are saying this happily. And I'm around black people, they're saying this word. But when a white person says it, the meaning changes. And I can assure you, throughout my life, usually I would see videos online. They would say, oh, a white person said this. Oh, a white person. It's usually some white person who is crazy or they're pissing the person off. But white people don't go around saying this. At least in my part of America, they don't care for it. But they make it seem like, oh, white people are looking forward to saying this. There's nothing to be gained from it. It's just a word. People are listening to rap music. Black people themselves are making songs about this. I guess the only way you can say it is if you put beats to it. You've had rappers like Fat Joe. You can clearly see he's Afro-Latina. He uses that word. They never had problems with it. But now all of a sudden, it's a problem. Come on, man.
That first time I was like, damn, I know again. So yes, my first video on my channel is saying no one owns the word. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you think you is. You don't own the word nigga. It belongs to white people.
Don't you see why some people are having a problem with it? If you're saying that no one should use the word and then you're calling a black man the word nigga.
No, I agree. No one should use the word. But again, it is a part of my vocabulary. Since I was a toddler growing up in the Bronx, my family is both black and Hispanic. It is part of my vocabulary as much as it's part of yours, as much as it's part of anybody's on this panel. It is a part of my vocabulary since I was a child in my environment, in my community, with my family. I decided on my own to curb the word. I decided on my own not to use it. I'm not using it because it belongs to black people. That's not why I'm not using the word. It belongs to whoever. It is used by whoever comes from communities that I come from. The word nigga with an A at the end is used by everyone who comes from the communities that I come from, who are either black or Hispanic.
Look, these people are totally being hypocritical. They're over here pretending, oh, like as if other people don't say this. I've seen the black people themselves with Hispanics. They use these words with each other, like, hey, what's up, my N-word? They do this. I've seen them. They do rap music with these people. We've all seen it. But they want to sit here because he's in front of a black crowd, you know, because you guys remember, if you live in America, especially early 2000s, and you know, up to, you know, before Obama came around, because after Obama, that's when he brought in this evil further. But majority, we are not part of it, the Africans, but I used to think it's just, you know, their American culture. I never saw the difference. I'm just like, oh, this is how these other type of Americans call each other. I see it in their rap music. I've seen them in prisons, you know, calling each other that. I was never part of it. I was like, oh, I guess this is their culture. You know, I don't see regular black people who have sense, they don't say that to each other. Because I've worked with other black people, they don't use this word, but majority of them, they use it. You know, that's how they refer to each other. So let's not come here and pretend. But you see, in this panel, this is grown men, two grown men versus one woman. And you have a guy who says he's an attorney. He said he's defending another big grown black man. You can go listen to the woman's full video. She's in an argument with a black man who called this woman every type of B word, any type of name you could think of, because majority are super emotional. Because if you grow up and your mama, that's what you're used to, you're raised by a mama who's angry, who calls your daddy all types of names, and you learn all kinds of bad words. The moment you never grow out of it, grow out of this mama mentality, it would always show. So when you act like that, like an emotional woman, and fighting with another woman who's emotional, oh yeah, you guys are gonna call each other names. But the moment this woman, you guys are fighting, you call her any type of name you want, that flies. But she cannot call you what pisses you off. Does that make sense to you? That doesn't make sense. So it is not a good thing to see man pretending to be a victim. It makes no sense.
Period. And I decided not to use it.
Here's the thing. Like looking at you, it's clear, and listening to you talk, it's clear that you're Hispanic. But people classify themselves as what they want to classify themselves in 2021, right? Right. And you had been asked recently, what do you consider yourself? And you said Afro-Latina, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, you feel like you're black, right? That's fine. But that could be the case. I'm just trying to figure out, because it seems like you're saying, well, with the scab comment and black people do this and you guys should not do this and you guys should not do that. It doesn't seem like you feel like you are a part of us, or does? Right.
No, you're absolutely right. I am not. There's a difference between Afro-Latina and African-American. The cultural differences are there, whether we like it or not. I would never say I am a Black American woman. That is not how. I am not a Black American woman. I am an Afro-Latina. I grew up in a Hispanic home. A Black American woman would tell you the same. I guarantee, scroll through the comments. She ain't Black, and it's Black women saying it. And it's
See, you guys see what this quote unquote attorney is trying to do? They do this all the time, where, like I said, you as African, they will tell you, oh, you ain't Black, but they would want to associate themselves with, especially Latinos. But when they say, oh no, we ain't Black, they get offended by that. And then we all are seeing like, okay, she's a Latin woman, she's not Black. But you see, like, they will tell you, the African, oh no, we ain't African, we are Aborigines, we originate in America. They want to be everything except Black. So this is why it almost feels like it's worn as a scab, because when you're trying to push something on everybody, it means you think it's bad. You're the one that thinks it's bad. So therefore, okay, this is terrible for me. So therefore, I have to, invite you to be like me. This is why they'll be like, oh, you think you're in Black? You think, like, I would ever tell an African person, oh, you think you're not African? If an African comes to me and said they are not African, I'll be like, oh, okay, I don't care. That's you. If you want to identify as a peacock, that's on you. I could care less. That's on you. See, when you have something good going on, you don't need to try to pull people in. You're selective on who you associate with. That's why, have you ever seen Bentley commercial on TV? You would never see Bentley commercial on TV. Like they're telling you, oh, 10% off. You will never see that. Okay? But But you're gonna see Kia commercial 50% off. Labor Day weekend, we have Kia commercial because it's cheap. Anyone can get it. But not everyone can get a Bentley. You would have to go look for it. They don't have to try to shove it down on you because it's the pristine one. So when you have a culture that is prestigious or you know, moral standard, you don't care about trying to force it on anybody. You just be. In fact, you're guarded. You're guarded. You don't want just anyone to come and identify as that. You're very guarded.
Black men saying it. So why when I separate myself, why do I get looked at sideways? They know I'm not black, and I know they're not Hispanic just because we all have a tan.
Maybe you get looked at sideways because you're making videos talking about, number one, black people shouldn't use their blackness as a scab, and then number two, black people should stop using the word nigger, and then you turn around and call a black man a nigger.
Okay, but listen, I said
acknowledge a little bit that seems a little fucked up.
I can't acknowledge that because that's not what I did. I said I'm
just saying
the word
it
nigga.
seems. I'm not saying what you did. I'm just saying to outsiders, right, who have all this background information about you having some video with this Tariq guy.
But you see, now this guy, this lead attorney, he's planting that seed because it's a dog whistle to his black listeners to say, don't think about this logically. Like this beef, whatever they have, this quarrel, this is between individuals, this lady and another guy. So why does this apply to the entire group? Why? It has absolutely nothing to do with the group. She called him that. She didn't say, oh, you black people. She called him that. The only part that she generalized was stop, black people wear, this like a scab and allow anyone to pick on it, which is true. And when she said generalized thing, it doesn't mean everyone. You guys know this, but this is between her and another person who happened to be black. These are adults. But no, they have to step in and make it seem like it's all of them. Oh, we're showing love. Oh, really? Why don't you show love to each other so people can see that? But that's not what people see. The only time you want to show love is, quote unquote, if you think something is fucked up. That doesn't make sense. And logical people can see this. And I know here in my audience, most of you are very smart people. You don't go by your emotion. You see exactly what he's doing here. That's that communist mindset. He is not related to that man in any way, shape, or form. But the relation is trying to go through skin color. Since when do other people step in when a grown man and a grown woman get into it? Since when? But they have to do this, and they don't know that it's showing weakness. That's what it is. Weakness.
Right. And to other people who have this background knowledge of you saying that, black people should not use their blackness as a scab. Black people should stop using the word nigger. And then you turn around in an argument and call a black man a nigger.
Okay, but you see what you just said.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Doesn't that?
Johanna said, Africans can't even create their own car. Dude, if you're black, you're living in the blessings of the white man. You know this. Show me the car that black people created. All these technological advancements. You want to tell me it is black people creating this? You're living in the blessings of white people. We know this. Yeah, you want to take shots at African countries? At least Africans have their own country. They have their own country, just so you know. And by the way, there's car companies in Nigeria that's created by Nigerians, just so you know, and in other parts of Africa. So don't come here trying to, you can try this with people who've never been to the States, who don't live here, to make it seem like, you all are out here creating stuff. You're living in the white man's blessing. So don't try to play that with me. I know better than that.
Seem a little fucked up?
The way you worded it, yes, but that is not what I did. So we have to go with facts.
What did
Not
you
what
do?
not what it looks like. I'm not responsible for interpretations. I am not going to
Jen,
coddle
I'm just
people.
asking you,
I'm not
what
going to
did
baby
you do? Jen, you said that's not what I did. Fine. So the question is, what did you do?
I made a video where I said everyone should stop using the word nigga. Everyone. Okay. I didn't direct it at black people. I didn't say, hey, good morning, black people. You need to stop using the word nigger. I explained my history with that word.
Okay, so everyone should stop using the word nigger.
Everyone.
Fine. And then you made a video saying that black people wear their blackness as a scab.
In response to the hypersensitivity.
So you guys see this. The N word, what's that have to do with the follow-up thing saying, oh, you shouldn't wear your blackness as a scab? So he's gonna find all type of way to try to make this woman fit what he wants to say, to paint her as quote unquote racism. This is why I say it's a religion. It's not logical, people. You have to wake up to reality. You have to wake up to that.
And the current environment of racial sensitivity.
Okay.
The video, you can interpret it however you see fit.
I'm asking, Jen.
Okay, the video is still on my Instagram. On the Block with Jen, it is still on my Instagram. I was very clear. I was telling black people specifically, okay, because of the current times, stop being hypersensitive. Stop letting people bait you into every little conversation. For instance, today you started with, I think that guy was mimicking an ape. That comes from your experiences, right?
You guys see that? She is absolutely right. So this man, this quote unquote attorney, he tried to paint the son of an African immigrant. Two immigrants going at it. The other guy, he's Haitian. So the guy was mocking the other guy. This man never said anything about ape. But this quote unquote attorney comes on his platform and says, oh, I think that guy is mimicking an ape. So the man never said this, but he's planting the seed. What if the man was mimicking an ape? So what? Who cares? These are grown men. These are grown men going at each other. This is none of your business. Like, why do you feel that you have to, be the mama for them? You guys see what I'm talking about? Boys being raised by single moms. Because the spirit would be that mama spirit. You would always think you have to step in instead of allowing men to sort things out. I would not come and try to dictate how somebody should, talk about somebody, saying the guy is mimicking an ape. That's your thinking. That's not what the man said. But he's trying to make it that way. And I'm glad she brought that up, because it was very wild when I saw that. I was like, is this guy serious right now? Even if the guy mimic an ape, so what?
He could have been mimicking a caveman, but your interpretation was, no, he's mimicking an ape, right?
No. I said, this is what it could be to me, but I'm putting it forth to you. You guys
see what he said there? He said to him, but this man did not say that to him. the other man that the guy was doing that to never said that either. But this is two black men, by the way, right? The other guy, his father is from Sudan, but born in America. The other guy, I guess his parents are from Haiti. But I guess they say, oh, we don't fuck with the immigrants, right? But you see, this is why immigrants, I keep telling you, be careful. Guard your thinking, because look at somebody like him. He's trying to impose their sensibility, their fragile thinking onto these people. These people didn't even think about that. They were, going at it at each other just like men do. That's between them. But he has to somehow come and say, oh, that's what it looks like to me. Who cares what it looks like to you? No one cares. If the man didn't say that, there's no need for you to even make that statement. But he had to
make the decision, right? How do I know? You guys, this is what it looks like to me. You guys make the decision. In fact, I used the word jury. I said, you guys decide. You are the jury. That's what I said.
So then what's the difference when I make a video saying, stop wearing your blackness?
Let's see, Snuggle said, he explained to you what an ape symbolizes to Americans. So why would you? Who cares what it symbolizes? He didn't say, the man didn't say that. He did not say it to Americans. It's two men going at it. So now, just because you feel a certain way about something and it wasn't said to you, why would you step in and try to interpret it that way? This is what I was telling you guys about, this self-centeredness. So everything is about you, like these people are not even thinking the way what you're trying to present. But somehow, because, what it looks like to us, American, no, not American, say Black American, because you feel high and mighty, therefore you have to interpret things for other people, even though that's not what they're saying. Look, most people, I'll tell you, where we come from, we don't sugarcoat things. If we want to call you an ape, we will call you that. We're not gonna be, trying to sugarcoat it and get you to interpret it. And I'm sure if that guy wanted to call that guy an ape, there's no doubt, I bet you he would have called him that. So let's not build mountains out of ant hills. Come on now.
It's like a scab and letting people pick it off.
I don't think I'm not sure. Let me back up. I'm not sure if you hadn't seen the beginning of this. Well, you might not understand the context. The context isn't the scab comment. In the last video, some people had a problem with you calling Donovan Sharp a nigga. That's where it came from. The only person that mentioned the scab comment was this the last gentleman that was on. So it seemed, but I didn't know about the scab comment, and I didn't know.
So all the things that Donovan said to this woman and to other women, how he yells at other people, so he cannot take that word. You have to feel broken for him. People, do you guys see what is happening in America? So you people that are outside of America, Africans, now you understand why you get into these scuffles with the people on the internet. I just broke it down to you. It is the mindset. Look, there's no way, if the person is in charge of their own mind, whatever you say, they want to interpret it, in any type of way. There's no way around it. Even if you say blue, they're going to interpret it as something they want. Plain and simple. So that's why you don't engage in these conversations. Don't even waste your time. I'm breaking down the mindset to you. This man is supposed to be an attorney, a lawyer. He's successful, but he's projecting lots of weakness here. He can't even, do a coherent argument. That's why I went on there. I asked him a question about, oh, you want to talk about pro se, for black men to know that they could win in court if they represent themselves. He's like, yeah, I will. I wanted to have the conversation, but he didn't want to have it while I'm there. As soon as I leave, he's like, oh, that's dangerous. This guy don't know what he's talking about, and he goes on to say, I would like to see this guy interrogate Jen, which is this woman. Just in case he doesn't know, I've went to court against attorney that have 40 years experience, hired by my son's mother, and I still won. Plain and simple. I represented myself. But no, he's like, oh no, you cannot interrogate the person. Really? Really? I cannot ask the questions I want to ask. This is not, courtroom is not the internet. If you enter that courtroom, someone represent themselves and you ask them real question, oh, they have to answer it. There's a judge there. There's rules. But he was presenting it like, oh, what this guy is saying is crazy. This guy cannot interrogate this Jen. Oh, because Jen totally, came on your show and ate your lunch. Literally. This woman is out here eating her lunch back to back. So therefore he thinks, oh no, this guy cannot take on Jen. I don't need to take on Jen. Okay? I don't need to take on Jen. But any case that I'm interested in, that I'm involved in, and I represent myself, trust me, if I'm on the right, I'm going to win. If the system is in bias against me, I'm going to win. So that argument makes no sense. Just like the arguments he's giving here doesn't make sense.
About this whole, you making a video saying that no one should use the N-word. I just knew that you classified yourself as Afro-Latina. But now, so I thought you were kind of inclusive. But now it seems like you're saying, no, you black people need to stop doing this. Everyone needs to stop saying the N-word. You black people need to stop doing this. And then you turn around and call a black man a nigger.
Yeah, but the way you're wording it, right? You're villainizing my words now. That's what you're doing. You called the black man a nigger. Listen to how that sounds. Listen to how that sounds.
Villainizing your words?
Yes, you are. Listen to how that sounds. Okay.
Is it not a fact? Wait. Okay, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back because you're talking about villainizing, you're labeling, right? Is it a fact or is it?
I blame this Jen for even going there and trying to even talk sense there. She's right. That's what the guy does. Because, like I said, it's a dog whistle. It's like you called a black man the N-word. Instead of speaking the facts about naming the guy's name, because you see, if he says the guy's name, then people would see it's two individuals going at it. But he made it seem like black, when he's a black man, so that any other black man that's watching, the emotional ones, to identify as that. But, you kick back. This is a woman that had issue with one single black person. But now you want to make it seem like this is her versus all black men. Ridiculous.
Not a fact that you called a black man a nigger.
It is a fact that I called a black man a bitch-ass nigger.
I didn't even want to make it that worse, right? So don't tell me that I am villainizing your words when I am stating facts, Jen. I just had to get on somebody else.
Snuggle said, Donovan did not feel insulted. Did you listen to the conversation? That's my whole point. Donovan did not feel insulted. Then why is this guy that calls himself an attorney trying to make it sound like that's what happened. It seems like his feelings are more hurt than Donovan. That is my whole entire point. The Donovan guy moved on. He isn't hurt by what this woman called him. Then why is he? That's my entire point. You just proved my point for me. But because the religion of racism sells and it pays. So if he brings this woman on and villainize her in front of the black crowd is going to pay him for doing that. And that's exactly what happened.
Recently about us being intellectually honest on this platform. Don't tell me that I'm what did you say, villainizing your words when I'm stating a fact, because it looks like you're trying to escape accountability for what came out of your own mouth, and you're 47 years old. Like, I'm not talking to a 50.
You guys see, right? He's taking shots at her because he knows women are sensitive about their age when they reach certain age. So you guys see, he got emotional. He can't argue with her on something that makes sense. So he has to now try to get her off her logic, and he's just hitting her with the age, being to make her feel bad about herself. But let's find out how he's going to continue. He's going to keep increasing her age as they go. And this guy is an attorney. Are you guys kidding me? Come on now. Do you guys know how unprofessional and illegal that is?
18-year-old here. All right. So don't tell me that I'm villainizing your words when I'm just stating a fact. You see where I'm coming from?
I see where you're coming from. And the reason why I said you're villainizing it is because if someone just took what you just said, just the soundbite, you called a black man a nigger without context, without seeing that this man was disrespecting me repeatedly and calling me out of my name. If they just took your soundbite, that's what Tariq Nasheed does. That's what Tariq Nasheed did with my video.
I am not in control of sound.
Wait, but Jen, I am not backsliding. I am not backsliding. I am not being unaccountable. I called a bitch ass nigga a bitch ass nigga. That is my language. That is my vocabulary. And it's always been. Now, with that said, yes, I reverted back to my roots. That is how we've always talked, where we come from. But that doesn't mean that I like using the word. I reverted back to my roots. I still say everybody should stop saying nigga. Everybody. Not just me, everybody. And I wasn't talking at, and I wasn't talking at, no, sir. I wasn't talking at black people. The video is still up. The video is still up on Instagram. Judge for yourself. Watch the video and then tell me if I was going at black people and telling them that they wear their blackness as a scab. I'm not responsible for your hypersensitivity.
Look at the big old beta male sitting next to on the side. Like I said, no logic. His emotions are kicking in. As if this is the first time they've ever heard this word. They themselves call other people this word. Mind you, if this word is so offensive to you, why would you even use it? But he can't even control himself. It's like, oh, because her skin is lighter than us, so therefore anyone that's not considered black, even if it's a baby, they have to cry about it. But the man that this was said to could care less. Could care less. But they had to take issue with it. I'm telling you, this is between two grown adults. Two grown adults. But they have to make it a community thing. Crazy.
I am not responsible for your hypersensitivity. I am not responsible for your misinterpretations. I'm responsible for my words and I stand by them. That's why the video is still up.
So you stand by, so you stand by calling Donovan Sharp, this bitch ass nigga, when you're making videos saying no one should use the word nigga and making videos talking about how black people wear their blackness as a scab, and yet you call a black man a bitch ass nigga. That's what you stand by?
I don't.
I'm asking you a
stand by
question.
it. Let me answer. You ask
Wait,
me. Let
okay,
me
do not
answer.
listen. Wait, I don't know where you're from. You're not going to scream at me, especially on my own platform.
So then let me answer.
Listen, no. You listen. You know, I don't know where you're from. Like,
You guys see, he started getting emotional. The feminine side is coming out.
who raised some of these people? You're making all these videos and it's clear to everybody the hypocrisy. I'm asking you very simple questions and you're screaming. Why are you screaming? You're 47 years old. All right? I'm just asking you very simple questions, Jen. If you don't want to answer them, fine, but you know what?
He keeps repeating her age to make her feel sensitive. Watch, he's going to continue doing that. This is a way of attacking her. Those of you that have sense, you know that's exactly what he's doing. He can beat her on logic, so therefore he has to attack her.
To scream at everybody. No one wants to hear a 50-year-old woman scream.
She went from 47 to 50 within minutes. And you want to tell me that's not an attack? No logic, man. No logic. So she was 47 a minute ago. Now 50.
Scream. Now, if you say you stand by everything you said, then that's fine. Fine. But now I understand why a lot of people had a problem. I was only operating under the one piece of information that I had.
Really? Guys, a lawyer getting this emotional where you're feeling it in his voice and everything. Hey, I wish somebody would hire like this lawyer against me in court. I'll make him cry. Literally, I'll make him cry. I would poke at his emotions. I'll make him cry. I've pissed off lawyers in court. Literally. Pissed them off. And if you're this emotional, oh, I'll make you cry, literally. Just in a disagreement on YouTube, he's getting this emotional. People, think about that. Yeah, you can disagree with the woman, but no need to gaslight it. Start saying, oh, you're 50, you're this. First 47 to 50. We all know why he's doing that.
When you said a couple of streams ago that you consider yourself an Afro-Latina, so I thought you were part of the in group.
So if you're Afro-Latina, so you're part of the group? Which group?
But you're not. And then you're I listen. All right, so do you feel like you owe Donovan Sharp an apology for calling him a bitch ass nigger?
Boom, there it goes, guys. You see that? The real argument, he's not going to stick on it. This is the point I was trying to show you. That's exactly what they do. The woman stands on her ground, but he's going to try to make her apologize. After saying all this to her, he should be apologizing to her for misrepresenting her age. He's an attorney. He should know better. You don't do that. But he's doing it because he's emotional. He's an emotional, fragile man.
Or no?
First of all, I'm 47. I'm not 50, but I know what happens in the manosphere, right? I know the ageism in the manosphere. I'm 47. Second, nobody should use the word nigga. Not even.
I'm just asking if you feel like you owe him an apology. That's all I asked.
I think that we both owe each other apologies.
People, let's just be real, honest. What kind of grown man would ever do such a thing? Seriously. Donovan doesn't care about what this woman said. Why do you care? Why do you want her to come and apologize? And then you're pretending like she was yelling at you because you don't want to continue the logical conversation. Plain and simple. He doesn't want to continue the logical conversation. So he made it seem like, oh, you guys saw how he pretended to be upset. And then boom, hits to make her feel bad. And then turn around and said, apologize. Satanic, man. Completely satanic.
I think that we both owe each other apologies.
What do you think you owe him an apology for, Jen?
And no, I shouldn't have been screaming.
Jen, I have a question. What do you think you owe him an apology for?
For calling him out of his name. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely, for calling him out of his name. But I think we both owe each other apologies because we both got hyper. But I'm not going to apologize for what I observe and what I comment on. I'm not going to do it. And the reason why I was just yelling, and I don't want to be yelling on anybody's platform, not just yours, but on anybody's platform, is because when I come on this platform, you have to understand the energy. I have 500 idiots in your chat section coming at me, and then I have you correcting me, and then I have panelists coming at me, and I've been holding my own.
All right. Listen. You know, we got one rule here. We got one. There's so few rules. There's so few rules on this show, and you see it, right? You see it. The one rule we have, though, which I have enforced always.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you see that? He just pretended to get her off as if she said something, and that's not true. Because he wanted to get her off, she would not apologize, as you know, she did the right thing not to. So it's completely fake. Completely fake. But he has to continue, you know, pushing that narrative. Plain and simple. He has to continue that narrative. And this is what you're going to run into. Not good. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to, you know, close the show here. I hope you guys have learned something from this and know that this racist thing you see, it's just, you know, good over evil, cultural difference. The government trying to pull everyone in as one community, forcing people to be, you know, one single way, to think a certain way, so that it will be easier to control them, like they're controlling the Black community. That's what it's about. Plain and simple. Think for yourself. Don't allow people to try to shame you into what they think is the most important thing. Just like this quote unquote attorney was trying to do to this woman. You guys have seen it. I don't have to tell you. Thank you for joining me. Please like and share. Subscribe to the Afridamos Report. Enjoy.